Do you see him? I'll wait. Hey friends, welcome to the Spill the OT YouTube channel. My name is Robin, and today I'm going to be doing a what an average day looks like. And this is going to be a series because I have not worked in every setting by no means, but I've worked in a lot. So today I'm going to be talking about inpatient rehab. Average stay is usually about 2 weeks. It can be longer. I've had patients there for like 6 months. That's very rare. Most patients, a couple of days, a week, 2 weeks, pretty much no longer than a month. Again, this depends on your facility, but I would say right around that 2 week mark. And the range of patients can be very wide. Most patients there are typically 18 and older. I would say the majority of the patients at the facility that I've worked in, and I've worked in 3. I told you I've had a lot of jobs. So I've worked in 3, and typically the patients tend to be, I would say 45 to 95. This can definitely depend on the actual facility that you're in. There are inpatient rehabs in the area that I live in where they're more trauma-based. So those trauma-based are probably where like the motor vehicle accidents are going, or we had the Boston Marathon. So a lot of the survivors from the Boston Marathons went to those types of inpatient rehabs. And I have never worked in those types of settings where it's a little bit more trauma-based. So typically the patients I see are ortho patients. We'll also get patients who have had strokes or who have more neurological conditions, Parkinson's, MS. And again, all of these, they don't come in just because of that diagnosis. They come in because there has been something going on that prevents them from safely returning home. Typically they need to have a comorbidity, so something else that's been going on that prevents them from going immediately from the hospital back home. So that's why they have to come for rehab. I've even had patients that actually drive themselves. We had one patient who drove himself right to the inpatient rehab and wanted to check himself in. That is very rare, and I don't know exactly how they coordinated that. I totally stayed out of that process, but I think that there's quite a variety of ways that people can end up in inpatient rehab. So yeah, there's a lot of different diagnoses and different types of people that we serve in this setting. And it's actually one of my favorite settings. So say that you get to the facility around 7:30. Some people start earlier, some people start right at 6, some people start 7, 8. The latest you would start as an OT would probably be 8:30 because you're gonna be doing what are called ADLs. So that's when you go in the patient's room, and it's probably going to be an eval if they have an eval on site, but it could also just be ADLs. So you get there, you get your schedule. Sometimes the schedule's not quite ready, so you might just get your first patient and it'll say, hey, go do an eval on this patient. It's going to be 60 minutes treat time. Average treat time, I would say, is about 60 minutes. Again, I'm only talking about my average day, okay? Like, totally depends on your facility. But it can be 30 minutes, it can be 45 minutes, it can be 60 minutes, it can be 90 minutes. And I'm sure it can be somewhere in between there as well. So if it is an eval, sometimes I've had 2 or 3 evals in the morning, usually about 60 minutes each. And then I will do a chart review. I'll do a chart review on all the patients and I just take notes. So that might take me about, I have to move quick because I'm per diem. So they might only give me like 15, 20 minutes to do it all, which is a lot of pressure. And that's why if you are a new grad, I definitely recommend starting off with a full-time position or something where you're more salaried and not per diem. I know that the PRN rate can be really tempting, but it's so fast-paced that you really have to go, and it's a lot. It can be really draining on you. So just please keep that in mind. Pay is better, but you don't get benefits, and every day is just a lot more work than I think it is for somebody who's there salaried. Not that being salaried is not a lot of work. Please don't confuse my words. So anyway, I will typically be able to do my chart reviews really quickly. I want to just check out the most important things, and then I will always go and check with the nurse. And usually they'll say, no, he or she is all set, and then I will enter the room. If there is a problem, then I will look into it, and then I might have to flex my schedule or report to whoever is making the schedule that day. And again, this is coming from a per diem perspective. So if you are there full time, typically you are the one who is building your schedule. You'll still have somebody that you can contact and ask about if you have any questions, but usually you'll be the one responsible instead of relying on somebody else to hand you the schedule. So then I will check in with the patient. I will introduce myself, say hi. I will see what they have available in the room because you're probably going to need some soap, wash towels, deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, all of those kind of ADL items. I will see if they have underwear, see if they have clothes, socks, all of those types of things. And then I will leave. Sometimes there's no wheelchair, so I want to make sure that there's a wheelchair if the patient is anticipated to need a wheelchair temporarily or long-term, but usually it's just temporary. Then I will go and get the supplies, bring them to the room, and I usually begin with a cognitive test. We also test the patient's vision. It's more of a screen. We're not actually testing. So we do a screen, and once the patient seems like they're ready to get out of bed, I will help them to the edge of the bed, check their vitals, jot them down because your girl has a bad memory, so I need to jot things down. Again, these are all assumptions. This is assuming that you have an ambulatory patient. Some patients are not going to be standing or walking during your first session, so that's very common. And in that case, you just want to see how can they tolerate sitting on the edge of the bed? Are they like moving around? Can they not handle it? How is their ability to follow directions? How is their muscle strength? There's a lot that you can look at without ever leaving the edge of the bed. And then some patients, that's as far as we get. Edge of bed, they lay back down, and I will complete my eval from bedside. And I'll always, I like to help patients get cleaned up for the morning because I just know what that feels like for myself. I always make patients brush their teeth, or if they don't have teeth, I think it's even more of a reason to help them with their dental hygiene. My mom's a dental hygienist, and please, if you are an OT, please help your patients brush their teeth. Take their teeth out, wash them up for them. Please do something because it's just so important. And I just have worked with patients that have told me, oh my God, no one has helped me brush my teeth in a week. And that is shocking to me and horrifying. So please help them. If you are a future OT or if you're a current OT, please brush their teeth. Okay, I'm gonna try and fast track this because I'm getting more in detail than I planned to. So I might see on average about 8 patients. Say I see them for an hour each or 45 minutes each. So I'm gonna pop between rooms, see all the patients that are on my schedule. I will usually get a break at lunch, maybe 12 to 1, and actually 30 minutes will be to document. So I'll document all of the patients that I saw early in the morning. I'm not someone that does great with point of service documentation, although a lot of facilities are requiring that OTs do point of service. That means that you might have a tablet or an iPad that you're bringing with you to the patient's room and you're supposed to doc in front of them. So I can't really navigate that process as easily. It's easier for me to be there in the moment with the patient and then document later. And I will always write my notes. I have a clipboard, and I will write detailed notes on there so that when it is time to document, I can knock that out pretty quickly. So I'll have about 30 minutes to document. Sometimes I don't finish if I have 3 or 4 evals, I'm not gonna finish that documentation in a 30-minute time frame. But I do my best, and then I will take a break for lunch. I come back, immediately go and treat patients, and all the patients there are back to back to back. So it might be from 7:30 to 8:30, 8:30 to 9:30, 9:30 to 10:30, 10:30 to 11, 11 to 12. Then in the afternoon, same thing. And then I will document at the end of the day. That's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward. It's very busy, but patients have a schedule, which I appreciate. I will talk about some other settings in other videos where you'll see not everybody has a schedule, so they don't know when to anticipate you, and therefore it's harder to kind of convince them to come to therapy. If you are on staff, then you will be responsible for family meetings. Usually the family meetings, it depends on the facility, but I think they have to have one within 21 days if they end up staying 21 days. Some of them are out within the week. So you will have family meetings. You will also usually have a meeting with your staff. Usually there's some sort of training, probably once a week. Again, some places might be more, but that's pretty average. As a per diem, I don't go to those meetings, so it's actually kind of nice. Although if you look at it on the flip side, if you need a break, because personally, I get so drained and so burnt out throughout the day because I just need a bleeping break. So you do get a little bit of a respite if you're in a meeting, not cognitively, but at least your body is able to take a break, because in this setting, you will be responsible for helping patients get up and moving. It can require a lot of strength on your end. You'll typically be helping these patients who really need your help right now to walk, to transfer, and to get dressed, which can be pretty physically tolling on yourself because some patients are maximal assistance, some patients are dependent, some patients require 2 people to help them get dressed and ready. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. It's a great setting. And if you have any questions, please drop them down below. Bye.